Alright, we're gonna start the stream then. I am streaming on YouTube as well, just to keep the VOD, because YouTube keeps the VOD as a video, which is really nice.
Right.
Oh, it started also. Live with main Kronos, got the Discord, join the call, broken, perfect. Alright, sweet. But we are live. If it's working on YouTube, perfect. YouTube's also going good. Let me put the viewer count up so we can see. It's also a weird time because it's Thursday. I don't know. I feel like no, today's Wednesday. Sorry, not Thursday. Wednesday is kind of a bad day for me on streaming.
Hey, I could start my stream, but I'm gonna get
Up
a
to
lot of
you.
people. I might.
Up to you. If you
I
wanna,
gotta go
you can
both.
stream it. I'm perfectly fine. I think Grambler streamed it, or he didn't, but Creepy streamed it. Maybe if you wanna get in more calls and go ahead.
What's this call? What's this
Broken telephone.
podcasting?
Broken telephone, yeah. Also have to
eMan. I'm gonna capitalize the T and the M because that's funnier. Because now you're E.T. He-Man.
ET.
Love it. If you capitalize all of the letters E the man, now you're E.T. So you're E.T. He-Man. Oh, love it. No, I'm gonna keep that lowercase because that's funny. That's not funny. It's funny.
I forgot how I put my notification Discord. Yeah. Out. Normally I stream earlier. I've tried to keep the schedule like at 2-3 o'clock, and I end at like 9, 10, depending. But we're still kind of at the end of the.
You just gotta wake up forever. Oh, that's me.
I guess it depends
You
at the
should
start
take
of the
my
war.
source and flip me. Or actually, here, I'll do that for you. Bam.
Perfect, thank you. I don't know how you can flip each other on
I
Discord.
flipped me in my OBS source.
Yeah, Alright, perfect. Oh, so now we're facing each other.
Join the Discord if you want to join the live call. Do not break TOS or you will be banned. I mean, you're basically asking people to do it.
I should take it off. I mean,
when you put a giant sign that tells somebody who's random who's coming by and he's like, "Wow, I really don't care about this. Oh, but I can join and ruin their day." It's a signal.
I
It's like
mean, I
it's
am
the do
ready
not walk
here.
on grass.
I am ready here on
I
the
know. I'm
side
just saying.
with the right click ban.
Right. I'm
But
just
on
saying, man.
Twitch, yeah.
Sometimes it's better to hide things than put them in the forefront. It's just like when people are arguing in Foxhole. Like, if it's not important enough to like involve a moderator, then you can just mute them or walk away. What are they gonna do?
True.
Kind of the situation I'm always in. You're not important enough. Leave.
I'm just putting the link out there if anyone wants to join. We're gonna be taking in some calls. Well, it's not a call, right? Kind of a call. It's a voice channel.
It's a debate discussion thing, right?
Yeah, it's just basically if
mean,
anyone wants to say anything any of the opinions to be heard, they can say it here. I mean, there is Reddit, but here I don't know. It's just a nice. I want to do this every resistance phase, and then people can just come here and say what they have to say. But
interesting choice.
only during resistance phase. We had a lot of
Only
people
during resistance phase.
during the first time that this happened, which was nice. Give me a second. I have to close the window. This dog doesn't stop barking.
Angry barkers. That's a normal thing. How would I do something like this? How do I duplicate this? Duplicate. Nest Rio camera 2.
All right, I'm back.
I'm gonna call this chatting with folks. I don't know. That's probably an appropriate way to call it.
All right, I am a little bit nervous because I think you're a big figure in Foxhole, in the Foxhole community.
Eh,
It's
potato, potato.
right now. It's you and Evo. I guess it's you, Evo, and then Hans. But it's mainly you, because you and Evo, you guys
Me
are
and Han. Sorry.
always
Yeah,
playing.
me and Evo play it a lot.
Yeah, you guys are always playing Foxhole. Though. Well, I guess
Yeah, I
sometimes
get
the
the
other games.
EU crowd. Hi Zeppelin. I get the EU crowd. He gets the NA crowd because NA
Ah,
likes fighting. EU likes Logi. Because my entire Reggie is all Logi people, and
true.
it's like, where are you from? EU.
Yes, when I
Container yard
was with you
resistance
guys, I
mode,
noticed
right?
there was a lot of EU people.
Yeah,
I always wondered
everybody's
what your
EU.
time zone was, because you were always on when I was on.
Eastern Seaboard.
Oh, you are Eastern. Oh, okay, so it's a little bit. It's not as rough as the
Yeah.
Western guys. But yeah, this war, a lot of the NA people have been showing up for the collies, which was nice. Every time I woke up, more land that we took. I feel like EU, it was very even whenever the EU time came. A lot of wardens are EU. Would you say that?
That depends. I mean, if you've noticed, obviously they're missing an Oceanic because NA falls asleep and Wardens have a bad time.
Okay, Oceanic. Never thought of that. Australian,
Yeah, Oceanic.
Asia,
Well, I
right?
mean, I'll go to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock, and the map will be either blue or it's like stalemate, and then I wake up and it's green. But obviously, it's every war. You never know where the population's gonna go.
That's true. That's true. In my opinion,
No way.
I think um I don't think bad. I think pop. Whoever has the most pop wins the war. In my opinion,
Well,
because if
yeah,
you're sleeping,
that's not even an opinion. That's like statistically kind of how Foxhole works out at the end of the day.
there's a lot of
Um,
things to try and balance it, like the queues system and I guess resources. The devs have said something where like if one faction has less resources or less population, the resources, at least on the salvage mines, a bit slower. But yeah, those things, I don't think it's still not that it's not enough. It's just yeah, whoever has the most pop technically wins.
yeah. Uh, yeah. Hold on, I got people in my chat. Hello, container yard resistance mode. I don't know what to make of starting conditions map. Colonial builders going to have a tough sound. Any
Tell them
sound?
from.
My stream not got any sound?
Oh, let me
That would
see.
be
I
interesting.
can just
Yeah,
jump on
there
your
is
stream.
none. Ha! Hold on. There's me, but there's not you. Because
Ah, it's on
so I
Discord.
have
That happened before
so,
with Creepy.
no. So I have all of my audio separated into different nests. So like
Okay.
if say somebody joins right here and they say something inappropriate, so
And they
inappropriate that you don't want to broadcast it, I could actually put a time delay on that and mute it before it goes through the stream.
Oh snap! Okay, very technical. I
Yeah.
don't even know that you could do that.
Yep. So all I got to do is I go to this thing called my NDI. No, not NDI. I call it a Nest Audio. I click on that, and boom, all
What
my
is this? Is
audio
this
is
like
now.
a virtual mixer that you have, or
No, so
OBS?
on OBS, I mean I'm gonna show my OBS and prepare for Infinity Cronus, right? Like there's my OBS of me doing Infinity, and what I have done is I simply have a thing called Nest Audio. So, like, let's say I go and add a new audio source to one of my streams. Instead of me having to go to
Yeah.
every freaking single scene and add it, I just go down here to my scene, Nest Audio, and I put it in there. There. Infinite Cronus is now gone. It's just a little thing that I do, so that way if I add a new audio line, I change how audio works, I change it in one spot, changes it everywhere.
Yeah,
Same with my
because
camera.
I gotta, yeah, if I want to make a new scene or something, then I gotta go and add the desktop audio
All
and
the audio,
yeah.
all the features. So what I do is I've taken things like my audio, I make a nest, I call it a nest. I nest all my audio in there. If I have video or alerts, I nest it in there. And then when you go to make a new scene,
Ah,
you could just
okay.
add those scenes and it just adds everything together. There was no
Perfect.
infinite Cronus for you? Oh.
Let's do this.
Oh, right, because I don't have my display capture. Because see, I just made this because I was trying to kidnap you to do a thing. So if I do like a window capture, existing, no, add a Discord. See, I'm not used to this because none of my buttons and stuff are working.
No, I understand. I'm also I'm I also have to change some settings. It gets a bit weird.
Yeah, but it's a learning experience. There you are.
Oh, there you cropping it out. All right, perfect.
Yep, I cropped you.
Perfecto.
Then
Do you want? Let me message you the link, Discord, and then you can just put it in
yeah, sure.
your chat. Chuck it into your chat there. Oh wait, no, I guess you already have it. I sent it to you.
Do I?
Yeah, it's right there.
What do I put
The
here?
link that you it's in our DMs. And just copy that one line there. Actually, I can put it in your Discord if you allow links, because I know there's been a lot of bots.
No, I do in the media section.
Perfect.
I like how I have a thing called image, but it doesn't have any image to it, but it exists somewhere. Is it this? Oh. Oh, there's me. I don't want that. Nothing like doing this live to see like what life is like.
It's actually
There
nice.
you go.
I
Yeah,
remember the
thank
one
you.
time this streamer, this Rust YouTuber, he was editing live and I could see everything he was doing. It was really nice because I got to learn a lot. I got to learn a lot. Hey, Kazero is in the chat. Kazero, join the call. Join the call and tell us what you thought about this war. Join the Discord and join the call. Jump into the waiting room and I'll drag you down.
Hiding now. There.
We
See, I'm
had
not
some
equal
people
size with
book.
you because my camera proportions are different.
Ah,
Because
don't worry
this is
about
a
it.
4K camera. How many people do you guys want on the call at once? I think he does one at a
One,
time.
yeah, one at a time. One
So you
person
guys
jumps
just
on,
jump in, you say words, I say words.
jump into waiting voice room, and then you guys can have your say. And I'll drag you guys down live the call.
What
Oops,
else I
let's
could
turn
add
that
here? I
off.
gotta find somebody who does artwork. That's what I gotta do.
And I have your your chat open as well, so I can read what they're saying.
Yeah, I gotta get to your chat.
Don't worry, it was.
I wonder how podcasters do this. They just share a single channel and then they do it, and then yeah. But
There is a new feature. It's saying this knock feature,
I don't.
but I haven't
Yeah.
tested it, and it looks.
Oh,
I don't know.
it works. So what you do is I hit accept, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna see that we're now in a call, and you're gonna hear me twice,
Oh no.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's basically it's just a Discord call. So
Discord
there,
call. What?
close it.
Okay, I don't know
It's
if I like
basically
that
a Discord
feature.
call. That's what it is. Um, maybe in the future, what you do is, can you send me the broken telephone thingamajig? The image for
Yes, I
that?
can. I can. I got it right here.
Yeah, do that actually, because what I'll do is then that'll actually work out perfect for funny thing. I'm not gonna get any viewers. I always log off at 3 o'clock.
All right, so I got this one. I got a few. I guess you can do this one. You put us in the middle there.
Just yeah, just send me
This is the
one
one
and I'll
I'm
do
using,
a
so you
funny.
can use it too. Then you can put us in the middle.
Yeah, sure. So I save that image. What's that? Oh, what? Where did that image go? Oh, because because I moved the need to focus you again. Yeah, I don't like how Discord does it. I don't know how streamers do the whole like multi-call thing.
True. I mean, I guess it's Discord, but I don't know
I
how
gotta
they
look
actually
into
do
it.
it behind the scenes because I've seen those ones where they do, one that comes to
It's
mind
probably
is
Zoom calls, to be honest.
Zoom. I guess they're better at that. Hey, Zoom has more features or something.
There we go. That should be you
Yeah,
again.
they
Yeah, same
do. They
spot.
do. I guess I don't know. They just put it. What the way I'm doing is I popped it out. I poll.
Yeah,
You pop it
yeah.
out and then choose. You open up a new window. Right click, add window. No window. Yeah, window capture, and then you capture. There's a
Right.
little option
That's
there.
that's what I was doing, and then you do it like multiple times to get everybody in
Okay.
the call. But like, what do you do if you have more than a certain number of people, right?
I'm not sure.
All these weird questions, man. There's
Like you
me
said,
and
trial
there's
and
you.
error. Trial and error.
Yeah, it's the fun way to do
Hey,
things.
creepy
Like,
bananas.
I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I never have. See, I don't have. I have two stand-up monitors, so I can't do the cut that you did. I gotta like see if I can hide.
Creepy it is, Foxhole. They were just talking
Is this
about some.
Foxhole? I mean, we're talking about Foxhole, right?
No, I think
I
he's
gotta
talking
hide
about something in
this.
the chat about some, I
Hide
don't know,
me right here.
stream sniper from the
But the
27th or the invisible
uh,
pillboxes. That was those invisible pillboxes. The devs actually removed them. That's the first time I've seen that happen, where they actively
wait,
removed
like they
something.
actually showed up and removed them?
Yeah, yeah, because there was a certain place that had an invisible pillbox and we couldn't kill it. And on the last day, I went to that same spot and they weren't there anymore. So I'm pretty sure the devs removed them
So
because there was no way
they're
to destroy them. There's like it was legit. It was in the moors, and there was no way to destroy them at all. The damage made a video about it as well. He tried with tremolers, and yeah, the next day I went to that same
so
spot and it was gone.
yeah. So I do know that there were wardens who were actively deleting that
Oh, okay.
because you could kill them with a satchel if you put them right on top.
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe they did
But
that. Okay, maybe it wasn't the devs. I just know they disappeared, so I thought it was the devs.
it could have been DevMan just doing like a bad potato and then
Because
slapping those
that
people
I
on.
mean the fuel silos we can
Yeah,
destroy, right?
yeah, that's
And I don't
nothing.
know, the
That
railways, any other glitch types of glitches we can
if you
destroy.
can blow it up, yeah,
Yeah. But
all one
that
piece of it.
one you just cannot destroy. So I guess there has to be they intervened, or like you said, maybe some wardens took it upon themselves to destroy it. Because I know Robert loves
Yes,
games. He hates those types of exploits and glitches, and he takes it upon himself to prevent it. I
right.
guess.
There are certain things you can and can't do, in my opinion, in Foxhole. For example, if somebody puts a Stygian bolt in a tier 2 bunker,
I've seen
like
that
the
one.
whole exploit
Yes,
with
I
it.
don't know how to do it, but I've seen it.
Unfor- so, right. So unfortunately, by the way the game's rules work, you cannot friendly fire it to get rid of it, right?
Okay.
Because it's an exploit in a way that the players can technically deal with it. Like, this is how I've always imagined them doing their moderation. If you exploit something in a way that makes the game unplayable, like if I found a way to exploit a tank so it was immune to AI,
Yes. Okay.
um, something like that you could probably do something about because it ruins the game for everybody. Did you know that there used to be a tank that was immune to AI?
No, I did not. The only
Yeah.
thing
So
I'm close was the outlaw couldn't be tracked on the left. That's the closest thing to something like
um
that.
when they introduced the door, not the Doru, but the Acreon, it's called like the Acreon, the one without the machine gun,
Okay. Yes.
before the Doru existed, right? And then the Wardens had their APC. DevMan did something in the code in a way that made it so the AI wouldn't shoot them. So back then it was all pillboxes and AT turrets, and there was this winning streak where the Colonials would just get into the most. It's like, how did you get there? And the answer was nope. The AI wouldn't shoot them, so they would just drive off.
Oh snap. Okay.
But that was back in the days where 12.7 machine guns were better than anything else to kill everything.
True, true. You could damage a lot of stuff. The watchtowers. Well, you
Yeah.
still can nowadays, I guess.
Well, with 12.7 you can kill almost everything, but I mean back then you could. Back then you used to lose an iron ship worth of stuff to a guy with an SMG.
Oh snap. Okay. See.
Yeah. Imagine this: you're going down a river, it's tiny as hell. Some guy with an SMG starts shooting you. Your boat stops, and you lose 5 containers of stuff, and it takes 8 hours for components to respawn.
All from one SMG. Yeah, that
All
doesn't
from one
seem
SMG, just
very
one
fair.
angry boy with an SMG, and it's like, God damn it!
Yeah, the small arms update was good when they removed. I started playing in the last war that they changed the watchtowers could be shot by SMGs. I played one war where you could shoot the towers with SMGs, and then the next war they did the update. That was a
Yeah,
good
the
one, I
update.
think, because yeah, shooting a watchtower with like if you had to think about it nowadays, you'd be like, what? You can shoot a watchtower with SMG? That seems so OP.
Do it with a
That
pistol.
yeah, that
You
was
could kill it with anything.
a good one.
It was
Oh
dumb,
really? Oh
really
snap!
dumb.
But yeah,
Well,
like you
back
were
then the
saying,
most powerful person was the partisan.
true, it was different. I guess partisans did get hits. Although I did see a lot of partisans this war, so it looks like they're still being effective.
Well, right, but back then, 12.7 could kill everything because there wasn't bunkers. You would spend at 2 hours, 3 hours building watchtowers to have line of sight of everything. They didn't even need the machine gun; they could do it with SMGs, and they did this often. They'd load up their LUV with 700 rounds of SMG ammo, and they go around, and every watchtower was dead. And then you'd have to go out and spend another 3 hours, rebuild all the watchtowers, and then repeat the same process.
Seems yeah, it seems fairly
It
unfair.
sucks.
Especially with the
Oh, it
time.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, it was a good change. I think. Lots
Yeah.
of good changes that they've done. They're a bit slow to do it, but at least I think they just don't want to make any change
They're a
that's
small dev team.
also true.
They can't snap their fingers and add a new mechanic, change a mechanic dramatically in a way that like you expect from even like indie studios. If they have a very popular game, if they really really wanted to, they could just be like, here's a bunch of money to another company, fix this problem, and
Oh,
they
okay.
do, and then it gets pushed
See what you mean. Yeah, I just thought it was more of a
100%.
like a they don't want to break the game. They want to take it slow and steady. Because I've seen games die when there's too many changes. Like the game just goes in a certain way that didn't want it to
I
go.
mean,
I guess it's a mixture of
in
both,
my
maybe.
opinion, well, so in my opinion, DevMan kind of slaps a lot of changes at once, but it's all for one problem. Like, oh, what was the best example of this? People couldn't get components, so they made it so you could farm components at tier 1 with the harvester. They added broken components, and I think the 5x it was one of the best examples of them just trying to solve a problem, which was people aren't sharing facilities, or rather
Okay.
they're not sharing resources and fields because their quote unquote isn't enough. But that's not the issue. The issue is accessibility. If you can't get to, if there's 5 fields of coal pre 5x, which 5x really didn't affect coal except for farming it faster with harvesters, which made it even easier for people to basically hoard it. And then you could also then put all of it into a private queue, and then it's like there's nothing here for anybody. What do you do? Um, you know, during the nights when people want to go to these fields and farm a ton of coal or coke, it's I don't even know how to describe this.
It's
So when Foxhole has high pop, fields respawn faster and more
okay,
resources are given.
yes.
And when there is less pop, it's goes back and forth on a dial. But that's not the problem. The problem is if there's more people playing and there's more people who have control of the field, such as like WLL, ACA, because that's a fun topic. The people when they're online, when there's more people, it's not like there's going to be more resources to share. It just means these groups get more for themselves. And then you go and like in Acrithia, there was one field I kept calling out that had no train access, no way to get a flatbed to the field, no way to harvest coal and just leave, or even there wasn't a public way to refine it because they took the power off of the coke furnaces when they were done.
Snap. Okay, that's a bit
So this
horrible.
field was inaccessible, unusable, and pointless for the whole faction, except for the one group that decided it was theirs.
Yeah.
And
Only
then
when
the
they're
Kazaros,
online.
yeah, and not even when they're online. But look at what Kazaros said in your chat, and he dominated the sulfur fields when I wanted to by using private queues. And once you have harvesters out, you can basically have 2 or 3 people clear a field. You put it into a private queue like you're going to make A3s, but then you're not. And then you can bring it over to people like me, and I make, all of the enriched oil, and then WLL makes battle tanks. Sarah, thank you for the tier 1. I'm confused why devs added more rare metals at the end of the war after Tech Max ended. There are already 20 plus ships sitting in the back. Gear fear.
Well, yeah.
Nobody's joining to
the
ask these
end.
questions. They're just doing it in chat.
Yeah, guys, join, please join, or we won't respond to your.
Post the here. How about this? Post the link in my chat. I'm gonna quickly use a bathroom break because I just drank way too much tea. See if you can drag somebody in here.
Let me go to your stream again. Join the stream. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Here's the wait. Here's the Discord link. You click on that, it takes you to the Discord. You then book your spot. Say books in the book your spot so we know who came first. And then you go into the waiting voice room. And then we drag you guys down. If you want to say anything, just jump on, say hello. You don't even have to ask a question. You just have to jump on, say, hey, I loved what WL did. Good luck next wall. Boom. That's it. Just someone, please. Anyone. Let's get this train starting. So go into the waiting voice and I'll drag someone in here. First person. First person in gets a BT. Cronus will give you a BT next wall.
Wait, I'm not in charge of those next war. That's not my field. That's not my field.
Cronus is back, guys.
To be fair, you don't need. Yeah, to be fair though, you don't need people to jump in the call to ask questions if we got chat doing chat things.
True. Maybe I should, because that's what I noticed when I did it with the Gremlo. It happened. Everyone was just asking the questions instead of jumping in.
Yeah, because not a lot of people are comfortable to do 100%. A call system.
Oh yeah, guys, you don't have to put your video on. You just have to.
So instead of the waiting room where you have books, why don't you have a two-tier system? You have somebody who says books, as in they want to ask a question in the call, but then they could write after somebody else can after that. Then just put a question, and then we talk about the question if we like it, and if we don't like it, we skip it. that.
Well,
or if you want to be really fancy pants about this, you pre-vet people. Oh. You got to say books plus what your question is, and then if we don't like your question, we ignore you.
Well, the thing about the broken telephone is that doesn't matter what you say, we're gonna hear it because we don't want the message to get broken. So that's what broken telephone. Even if you hate us, you can come on and say something. You don't agree.
Say mean things.
Exactly. If you have to say something mean, hey, we'll listen to it. I'll listen to it.
You can listen to it. I'll just sit here.
Yeah, the guest doesn't have to respond. All right. If no one wants to, if no one can wait. Maybe I have to give you guys perms. Let's see. Maybe that's why. God, how I did this at the start. I missed a few. Let's see. Let me give you guys roles. Let me give you guys
There's nobody in
roles.
there who I don't see names. Wait, did you give me a role?
Yeah, I gave you the
Like
guest
yes.
role.
Okay. Hey guys, played Kali this war. Only my second full war overall. Don't know any Colonial Legion lore. Why does everyone joke about 420th? 420th is a new Reggie that started by somebody literally starting the game going, wow, I'm just going to invite absolutely everybody. He invited everybody who moved into his regiment. He made everybody an officer, and he had every one of them invite anybody who could breathe. And it's rather effective.
Do you think in a few wars they'll
I
get
have not.
really good? Or do you think it takes more than that?
So, what usually happens with a regiment like this, because he's not the first guy to do this, is eventually you're going to have the moment where, like, like how, by the way, you're no longer got your camera up.
Okay, thank you. Is it back now?
Okay. Uh,
Should be
I'll
back now.
all I is it me? It might be me. No, it's me. It's me. It's me. I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
no.
There we go.
Oh, okay. I
I'm
see
the
what
idiot.
happened.
Um, so this has happened several times in the Foxhole thing. You have everybody and everybody who joins the group, and then they start to break into smaller groups, or you have a moment where the leader does something that kind of shatters the perception of everybody, like of what they think he is, and then they then make their own groups. It's gonna happen. Like unless that or he's just an excellent leader, he'll keep everybody together with the pure power of memory, and then yeah,
True. That is their
that could be
style,
a thing
right?
too.
The memory thing.
But I mean, a lot of groups basically normalized if somebody was in 420th and they joined your squad or they hung out with you for a minute. I think the WLL like got 3 or 4 people from 420th that dropped tags and they joined us because they were like, I don't know what 420 is, and I was like, okay. And then I
Yeah.
know of a couple of other groups who basically other people they're basically not actually part of the group, and then there are people who are actually part of the 420th group.
No, yeah, I
So
agree.
it'll break apart. But if he keeps up the process of where basically you don't have a tag, you add people, don't have a tag, you add people, then life is good. He'll just keep growing like that, and then whether or not it holds together. Um, hmm. but I know there's already quite a few people who don't trust people with 420th tags because obviously there's already been a
Mm-hmm.
couple of people with 420th. They show up and they're just here to have a bad time.
True. Sometimes, yeah, if I see like I just automatically assume they're there just to have fun, and that which isn't bad.
No, it's not.
Everyone can do that. It
Foxhole's a horde
just
game.
some people have fun at the expense of others, you know, where
Well, yeah, but that's the problem with any massive multiplayer game. Like look at like take War Thunder. You spawn in tanks, you're ready to go, you're gonna go play. Guy behind you decides fuck it. He puts a round in you, your tank pops and you can't play. Same planes, same thing. World of Warship, same thing. They don't care. Until they started introducing like huge penalties for doing that. And then
okay.
you play a game of what's the game? I used to play a lot of it. Rainbow Six Siege. If somebody didn't like the guy you picked, up that's it. They're gonna pop you and say you're bad. And then
Yes, I've
at the
had
end of
bad
the day, you
experiences with
wasted your
that.
time. Yeah, like it's it's the nature of any multiplayer game, regardless if it's an MMO. You're going to have griefers, you're going to have bad potatoes, and there's nothing you can do. So many people not in 420 is preying on the downfall. I don't know why. I do they succeed? Do they fail? Do they rise to the top? I don't care. They could be the next 82 DK. It's just
Alright.
that I tend to vet people in my group a little bit. Like, are you a good potato? And then if they seem to be, we do. We had a guy recently. He made an extremely edgy comment in the world chat and gone. He said it was a joke, and I was like, you can't joke about that. And out he went. There's a culture you form around your members.
No, that's
Dude in the
true.
WLL friendly fired somebody with a bane. I screamed at him to stop. He dropped his tags and left. Like
Weirdo.
at the end of the day, there's certain
Yeah,
things.
it's
Foxfire says hello.
it's tough. All right, we got
Yeah.
someone here, Cosmos.
Yep.
He's gonna join us. Cosmos, if you're ready, we'll
This
drag
guy.
you in.
Terrible. He's not ready. Don't. No. Oh, damn. We're talking to this guy.
Oh
You
no.
know
Cosmos.
Cosmos? Looks like you guys know each other. Cosmos, welcome. What do you got to say for us? What do you have
Well,
to
first of
ask?
all, last night I was in Port Rhyme and that stuff, and actually fighting alongside 420th. I was with the 77th. We had an SPG up there, and funny enough, 420th was actually the most people willing to help us get shells, help us load. Everybody else has more vets. Funny enough, were trying to tell us where to fire, how to fire. So
Yeah,
don't always blame them all. Like there is a lot of good eggs. There
no.
is some bad
Yeah,
eggs, but
there's a
there's a
lot
lot
of
of
good
good
ones.
ones.
No, yeah, but see, that's the thing. I do the thing with the camera every time. Thank you. Thank you, Luffix. Um, I'll jump on this one first because I've had a lot of experience with these groups. No, no matter what you do, is if you throw a wide net, you're going to catch a lot of people and you're going to get a couple of the bad ones. But it's just like the loudest voice always complains. It like Foxhole makes a change, and the loudest voices are the people who are going to complain about those changes. It's not the people who like them; it's always the people who complain. Um, and what are you supposed to do about it? Because they seem the loudest, they seem the biggest group. But it's just like the last batch of changes. Like a couple of people were very adamant about certain things and then they were proven wrong.
Yeah, and I
And
guess
yeah,
my
as
sec my no, anyways, my actual question originally was before you guys started talking about this topic was how do you feel about some of the upcoming changes, especially this? I know Crows for you being a lot you man use silos a lot. How do you feel about these silos being like killed by like an MG kind of thing? If like a partisan comes to shoot with MG, cuts off your oil line kind of thing. How do you feel about the new changes to silos? And also, do you guys think they'll still be used on the front, or do you think people will stop using them now with the changes?
um so since you asked me first, I mean, vegan pecans, infinite pecans, the five pipe is really, it's a really high cost and it's going to make pipelines kind of annoying at first. But I'm told something interesting. People do pipe, pipe, silo, pipe, pipe, silo, pipe, pipe, silo. Apparently, it's just pipe. You don't need silos. Apparently. I listen, the source who told me is very reliable. Very, very reliable. And I was like, man, if I've been building silos for no reason since War 94, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That's
I'll lose my shit.
what's the point of the side? Like I thought it was, yeah,
It's
something
fuel. It's just fuel
before
storage. That's it. It's nothing
fuel
else.
storage.
It's just fuel storage.
It's not even. Is how?
Nope,
What is it?
just
A
fuel storage.
thousand liters? No, less.
500.
500. I guess it's alright. Comparing it to a liquid transfer station, but that's not exactly 500. That's units, not
No,
liquid.
that's 500 cans.
Yeah,
That's
so that's
500 cans of
less.
50 liters each of petrol or 100 liters each of diesel. That's why you get more bang for your buck for moving diesel, but petrol obviously lets you go 10% faster in your vehicles. So will they
Gee.
still be used at the front? No. Are they some of the best items you can use to like lock your tank so people can't get in them? Yes, because people used to do power poles, but then you just do exclamation point unstuck and you got yourself a free Aries.
True. To be honest, I
Yeah.
think the fuel silo, it was more of I saw someone do it, so now I'm also gonna do it. And then it like everyone wanted to try it because I remember we were in one spot where it was starting to pick up the fuel silo. Meta was kind of picking up, and this guy was like, "Hey, look what I saw! I'm gonna do it now." But what he did was he actually just blocked the friendly tanks from advancing, and we were like, "Dude, like this is horrible. These fuel silos, it's not even. It's actually countering us." I feel like people were just doing it because they wanted to show what new discovery that they found, and then as the war went on, I guess people stopped using them. But obviously now with the five pipes, obviously it's gonna we won't see it more in the front. I mean, five pipes, that's 15 pecans. You have to carry a lot of. I think we won't see it anymore.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'll round back on that because you said something about how the guy was impeding friendly advances. But that's really funny because this happens a lot in Foxhole. You have a huge enemy tank line coming at you, so you put everything you possibly can in their way. You put mines, you put trenches, you put whatever you can possibly get in their way. Then your friendly tank line shows up, and then the freaking tank commander is like, "Stop putting these mines out! You're blocking us, you griefers!" And it's like, oh my god, no, you weren't here 5 minutes ago.
No, that's totally true. Amount of times people have placed mines because of a big tank push, and then the friendly tanks show up. Now you have to remove the mines. I guess you got to do it right. Put them and remove them. Also, the mines can be placed better sometimes. Like mines, I've seen people place mines right next to a bunker base, and they're like, "Oh, this is gonna stop their tank advance." It's like, no, you see, like, firstly, they're gonna kill the bunker base before they ever drive over that mine. And if a friendly tank shows up, he's probably gonna drive over it by mistake. But
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how like you gotta put your mines further out. You put it too close to the bunker base, it does nothing because it takes her to shoot the bunker base of 40 meters. And people, I guess some newer players probably just don't think about that. They're like, "Oh, put mines here, protect us," but not realize distance kind of thing that they need to.
The best place, in my opinion, to place your landmines is just on the border's edge of your machine gun's maximum range, like the MG garrison or a rifle garrison's maximum range, so that they have two choices. You either get shot or you suppress. And then the tanks, they can shoot the bunker, but if your bunker has AT, life is good. Then they can't rush it, or they can try, but
True, yes, they can't chieftain rush or push in. Makes sense. I mean, with the outlaws, it's a bit tough for the range, but like you say, if it has AT, you're all good.
But here's a question for you then, because you just brought it up. How do you feel about the MPF situation of, because it happened a lot last war, the colonial jihad? You know what that is?
The ballista rushes.
Like, it's 141. Yeah, the ballista rushes, where like every other hour, 141 was like, spawn here. I have 22 ballistas. We go for a jihad, and then it's like, so I know somebody out there is going to hate me for this, but I don't believe that MPF tanks in crates should exist as they do right now. So I don't like the fact that the wardens can bring 15 silver hands up to the front in one go. And then somebody says to me, "Oh, well, you can do that with falchions." And it's like, a falchion is half the DPS of a silver hand. Oh, you could just upgrade it really cheaply. That means I also have to have a bunch of resources that I put together on pallets, put them in a freighter, and at the same location, bring them all the way up. And it's what? It's ones, pecans, and fours, which you can make all at an oil field. So it's not that bad, but I still don't like the fact that I love how cool it looks to put a fuck ton of tanks on a train and then send it up.
Alright, instead of having it in the crates. True, the crates is a bit not in balance, but maybe they'll change it, you know, with all these the variants. I don't know if you saw the leaks. They're also talking about new variants.
Yeah, the outlaw becoming a variant.
Yeah. Maybe they'll change that up a bit, and you'll no longer see a bunch of silver hands. I don't know about the silver hand because I guess I don't know. Maybe the game, and in a year, I hope game's different. I guess, and all those problems will be solved.
Well, I think this update is going to be a big one.
What is this? The quality of life? Yes, quality of life updates. Why do you think it's going to be big?
No, not this one. I meant like the big content release that they're doing in the winter, like the October, September, or maybe November, December, like depending on how big it is. Tank chassis, MPF, attached turret, and facility. See, that would piss a lot of people off because then the game requires facilities to play it, and I have a lot of issues with facilities.
Wait, what's that saying? What did they say?
Hmm?
What did your chat say? Tank chassis and MPF. Oh, okay, like making the tank one by one, piece by piece.
Yeah. No. Like you make the chassis. Yeah, no, you make the chassis only in the MPF. So that means you would get like a falchion chassis, and then you can make 5 falchions at an assembly pad.
Yeah.
To be honest, it would really balance like all tanks at that point, because then you put every tank sort of in the facility at that point, so everybody would have to do it. So I would actually wouldn't be against that, because people do complain like, oh, the ballista's MPF but not the chieftain. But at the same time, there are outlaw and silverhand are MPF. Well, our Spatha needs to be made at facilities. So if they, I sort of, it'd be interesting if they want all chassis and be like, all right, now
Okay,
you got these facilities.
so let me say this about gameplay. The gameplay should be asymmetrical, but the balance of how it's done shouldn't be like that. The fact that the colonials so easily can just do jihads, as they put it, is I don't think totally fair. Where I don't think it's totally fair that the wardens can deploy armor easier than colonials, though colonials have the number. There needs to be a balance between like um how time is spent in the game, and one of the most valuable things is killing concrete. Colonial Man can do 15 ballistas with a freighter, no problem, as long as they got a storage depot. The wardens would have to bring a single train, then get 14. But if you brought a train of ballistas versus a train of silverhands, you see where the problems start showing up. I don't like the current eco balance. I don't like the next update eco wise. I like the quality of life, but I don't like the fact that DevMan's not solving the eco problem. It's always just give the players more, give the players more. Then eventually what happens is the people who keep getting more, like the big groups, they start making RSCs like they're candy. Like this war, we could have made, I don't know how many of them, but we didn't, because you only need like 3.
All right.
Yeah, like I
Comments?
feel like another thing is like I think the HE mats for 120 mil, I thought they would think they had a bigger impact, and it had very little impact on the amount of artery that was still flying out on the map. So it'll be interesting in future updates if they try to bring even more of a balance into arty. I think they were trying to limit the amount of early arty almost, maybe. But I think it had 0 impact on it. So we'll see. The other thing is I can also maybe see the MPF possibly going away. Like, why would they now add HE and EMATs into resource containers, unless if they want maybe them more to be brought to facilities to make more stuff at facilities too. So I can see maybe heavy ammo all switching to just being facility, and maybe even tanks being the same way, kind of thing, where more facility involved. So
Um, I think the only thing that needs to be removed from the MPF are the tanks right now. That's it. Everything else can stay.
I mean, like you said, with the new eco changes, tanks are a bit cheaper now.
I don't like the ego changes. It's pretty much like you get more coal from sulfur, you get more salvage, which means more pecans, which means battle tanks are even cheaper, and broken comps are still useless. And um, there's a lot of things that I would just love to be like, if I got to ask the developers one question, I would just be like, why is naval as it is right now?
Maybe one day.
Why
One
is
day
it a
we're gonna.
torpedo
One day we
ruins
get
an
a dev
entire
in here.
operation?
That's the goal of this podcast, to get a dev one day in
What's
here.
up, spaceman?
I think
That's the whole
one
point. Get DevMan in here. I'll just start calling Mark Foot until he bans me or blocks me. That's what the word I'm looking for.
One last thing before I leave. The only thing I have a feeling issue with next war is with the changes to the harvesters for component fields, is now that you're not gonna be able to get components till sledgehammers come out. So I'm feeling the fight for component mines has become an issue now again, like it used to be.
Oh
for the
yeah,
physical days.
it's gonna go back to people camping component mines. Like it's 100%. I don't know if it's against the rules. So DevMan says you can have an auto clicker in the game. So can I have a second account auto clicking components? I'm
I
not
know a lot of people
automating
that
anything.
do,
I'm just
but
auto clicking. I'm gonna drive that guy back to the mine.
I
I
mean,
don't mind the concrete mixer right
see it
next to the
already,
mine though.
right? We see people doing that already with the auto
yeah,
click.
people
I'm
what they do is they have
100%.
Scripts as well.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Oh,
people have auto clickers. They auto click from the mine and they fill a resource container sitting there. And then once the resource container is full, they have their other account drive up, pick up drop off of one container, pick up the other one, and just rotate it, and they never even have to leave the mine.
Wow, what an inefficient way of doing it. What you do instead is you get a concrete mixer, you slap it down right there,
Yep.
you put 32 fucking thousand components in it, and you call it a day.
That's that's another
That too,
issue, right? Putting the 32,000 comps. You basically just farm the whole field before
So
anyone gets there, and then store everything in the cement mixer. Which is, I guess, it's like you said, right? The problem was people couldn't use the
It's
facilities.
accessibility.
Yeah, but the other thing was people couldn't use the facilities, so they're like, okay, let's add 5 queues to it. And instead of people now being able to use the facilities, it just gives the guys that run the facility or get the resources, it just gives them 5 times more of the resource instead of actually using the facility.
Well, no. So yeah, so who is eMantheman? He's a different Reggie. He's part of Bros. He used to be in WL. Then he was like, Kronos, I don't love you. I'm leaving. And I was like, oh, I cried
went
for
Warden.
hours. I know I went Warden. It was fun. It was enjoyable. You should have joined us. We made 17 battleship, 28 submarines, 4
You
bluefins,
joined
and
me,
enough
hey.
long hooks to drown somebody.
Jeez. Very
Anyways,
efficient.
I'll step aside and hopefully some other people will come on into this Discord, say books, and do what I do. It's been fun hanging out with you guys.
Thomas. I really appreciate you jumping
Thank you
in.
for hanging out.
Hopefully we get some more people. Thank you for asking. And
Yeah, if not,
sharing
I
your
mean,
thoughts.
I'm fine with the questions in chat. This is enjoyable.
Yes, if you want to have more personalized call, do like commented and join the call, guys. Arquin, join in here.
I'm just going with my name.
One more.
Darkwind is a sleepy boy.
He's in here. He's in my chat.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Who's the other fella talking? That's eMantheman. Oh, that was Comus. He's a. Oh, what Reggie is Comus again? He's a good potato.
420th? I'm not sure. I thought he was 420th.
Oh,
He
Comus?
was
No.
just saying. Oh,
He's a
he's
vet.
talking about.
He's an 501st.
Okay.
That's a funny way to say future WL. Speaking of funny things, did you knew about the Toy Store program, right?
Kind of. Arquin told me there was a toy store, but I didn't know about the toy store program until you told me. I thought just the
So WLL ran a program where anybody could show up and be like, I want to borrow a BT, a BTD, an SPG, and eventually a Railstorm cannon. We got one of those too. I think you guys actually made it.
Yeah.
And all you did was you showed up. Yeah, you guys just show up and you go, hey, I'd like to borrow one. And then you borrow one. And then it comes back alive and we're all happy. It comes back dead and we're like, damn, we make another one. Because the economy in Foxhole right now is everything is cheap.
I think that's perfect.
I don't know if we're doing it again next war.
I think there just has to be a better way to communicate that stuff in game, because if you're not on the regiment's Discord, like there's no way to communicate that stuff unless you're in world chat, which then means,
and you spam it.
Yeah, you have to be spammy. You have to have the most upvotes on your map post. I just wish there was more a little bit more of like a good UI where we can use, where we can collude with each other. Like I know Albion, the one small things like in Albion, there's a faction list, and Foxhole doesn't have that. I wish they had like a regiment list where you could join a regiment and you could see exactly what the regiment does. Because right now you get a lot of people that are like, hey, is there any German regiments that I can join? Maybe there is 10 German regiments, but none of them are online. None of them see that message, and none of them tell the person, yes, join our regiment. I just think there could be better tools to do more in Foxhole.
I dislike the fact that you have to do a bunch of things. Like I'm gonna read, like I'm gonna join Sigil. I'm gonna use their stupid claim system, and if I have one person harass me, I'm going to flip.
Yeah, I think.
And that person has to be actually important.
I think we need,
like,
more
the last
admin
who left.
Also, I understand the devs. Like the whole social system to the game as well. They like to keep it. They like us to argue. Not argue. They don't like us to argue, but they like us to deal with the social aspect, like organizing those things. They want us to do it, which is interesting, right? I think Foxhole is a very social game. You have to be very social and organize things. You can also do it solo, but being a sociable person in Foxhole, I think it gets you a long way.
Have you met people on the internet?
What do you mean, met people?
I mean, like asking players to get along socially, sure, that works just fine.
Oh, yeah, it's tough. No.
For it works fine for some cases, and you also need to incentivize people to work together. But the problem is that in Foxhole, the only incentive is winning the war. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people who enjoy playing war. There's a lot of people who enjoy winning the war. There's also a lot of people who are just here to hold W in a tank for a short amount of time, or they're here to throw grenades or shoot a gun or do something like that. Like the thing is that right now, to me, there's not a lot of incentives for people to work together.
Yeah.
I mean, the start of this last war is proof enough that there are a lot of incentives for people to hoard resource fields.
True. Yeah, they need to.
There you go, Space.
3P told me that there used to be a thing called. I don't remember what he said exactly. Like a task. You could create a task, or you could create a mission, and people could join that mission. But it was a very. I think it was like.
Oh, it
Alpha
was
or something like that.
it was a
Like you
map
create an
post
alt?
where you could basically post what you're going to do.
Oh,
You could
okay.
type out like literal paragraph of what you're going to do, and like you could click the sign on or think to it,
See,
and then
I think that would be a good step. Like
it had to be removed
Oh, it had to be removed. Why? People abusing it or
because
something?
people were abusing it. But the map, have you ever opened the map and go from 100 and
Yeah, but I
like
didn't say on the
114
map.
frames per second to
No,
14?
not on
There's
the
a
map.
reason for that.
I would say,
But like I'm saying, like the map does that.
personally, like it's not the best fix, but they could implement it some way. I don't know how, but I guess what I would like to see is you could make a town post, not on every town, but maybe just the VPs. Because to be honest, some VPs are really not that important. Like if it doesn't have an MPF or if it doesn't have factory or doesn't have a garage, people don't really go to it. But yeah, have a VP where has like a town post and you could write stuff on it. Obviously, I know people would write some random shit, but you could have like a system where you could upvote the message or downvote the message. You could report the message if they're afraid that people are gonna abuse it, put inappropriate things on there. But at least you could have a town post and you could put, I don't know, not a picture, but you could write
Not my
something
podcast.
or put the map. I don't know, just have a town post where you could write something. Someone could go there. So, example, if I'm making a public upgrade facility, I'll go to that town post in the VP because every VP has a town map post. A town post, sorry. Every VP has a town post. I go to that town post. I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna build a public facility to upgrade your Spartas. Here, here, here. I hope to see you guys. I don't know. And then people go to that VP and they're
That
like,
would get
oh look,
abused.
someone's already doing it. You think it'll be abused?
That would
In what
unfortunately get
way?
abused.
Like,
Yeah, somebody would log in and just type dicks.
no, true. That's why you have the report. You can report it.
But that's the problem. It's more clutter for the moderation.
Or you could downvote. If it gets 10 downvotes,
So
it's gone or something like that.
the other option that you could definitely do a downvote, but then you could also downvote legitimate messages, right? Like
No, 100%.
I know there's a whole bunch of people who see like they see signs that say join X regiment downvote.
Okay, I see, yeah.
Ad time. Yeah, give me a second. I got an ad running apparently.
No worries.
Dark is
Hey,
space.
we got
Said
someone
hello.
here.
Oh, there's a Gremblo in there. Ugh, disgusting. Yeah, you need a little bot that when people join, it's like, by the way, to do the thing, you gotta do the books and the how to speak in the community. Yeah, it's a little problem for the future. What was I gonna say?
something about the town post where I was saying people could write stuff and
Oh, so I had a fun idea where you could, so this is, again, this would get abused, and I don't know how to fix it outside of making it like a pain in the butt to do without enough people in your squad or your regiment or something. But like, you could build basically not a sign, but like a map thing or something
okay.
that would allow you to. So it would be the Foxhole map, but only if you, like, you know how like the home island, if you open up the map, it's different than the map in game.
Yes.
I
The
don't know.
home island map. Yeah,
So
no.
you basically, I did the cam thing again because I'm trying to help people. I'm sorry, I'm a dum. Thank you. Anyways, so basically you get to build a table, a very fragile table that needs M subs to stay alive. Like the moment you build it, if it's not in M sub range, it starts decaying, and it takes like 2 ticks to die. So you either keep this alive or it pops.
Okay.
And it's the map, and it lets you just write on it. And like it's not updating constantly. It's the update from, it's just a picture of the map from when you posted it, and the only people who can look at it are people on your faction, and it lets you write on it. So it's not a map that gives intel, it's just a picture of the map, and then you could plot and plan with people what's going on. And I think that might work, or it might not.
No, that would be perfect.
Like a
yeah.
strategy table.
No, that I
Yeah.
think any sort of thing like that, it would already be a step in the right direction. Heck, I mean, if you don't want, obviously there's alts and things like that. So if you don't want that to happen, then you could just have it
But
for your
but this
regiment
is,
or for
but
all.
that's the fun part of it.
Oh,
You
people.
you build it where you want it,
Okay.
and only if they run up to it and look at it can they see it. So if you're going to do it like as a public op, you could do it like a public one, but then somewhere off in a corner with all like the higher up vets who are salty and
Oh,
sitting
I
in their little
see.
gremlin caves can sit there and look at the real map and be like, yes.
You could have fake
Yeah.
fake operation maps. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really nice. Maybe if anyone could read it. So if you have a headquarters, let's call it, I don't know, a map room, and the enemy's pushing on that base that has the map room, so you would want to destroy that map room before the enemy gets to it. That'd be interesting. Or you could
Like a
have like
bunker
have
edition.
spies that go into the map room and steal that information. That would be, I think, no, that would, I think that'd
Call
be
them alts.
that'd be really good. It'd be interesting, very interesting. No, like that would be a step in the right direction for me because I think we need more tools in game
I don't think that
to
would part thing.
do those things.
There
Right.
needs to be more communication tools in Foxhole.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Heck, they can have the regiments, and then they could have a coalition within the regiment, something like that even, because in Albion you get your faction, and then you get your alliance. You can have faction and alliances. It just, and then have some more tools to coordinate. I don't know. It'll be interesting. All right, we have 2 people in the waiting room. Let's get to them. Who said books first? Who said books first? Dark in Space was in
Technically,
here.
Grumblo.
But then he left, and then Gramblo.
Yeah, but he
Alright.
said hello when I left.
Let us bring in Gramblo. Greetings, Gramblo.
Hello.
Welcome
Hello,
to
Grum.
What's up?
Broken Telephone once again. Nice to have you here.
Oh shit. I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us? We can
Oh
hear you.
no, poor guy.
You can't hear
You know
That's
what?
a
I'm just
shame.
gonna have to use your stream audio.
Oh,
This
is
gonna
it
be
muted
like
maybe?
a nice 5-second delay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not muted on my end. We're gonna just go for it. I
Dropping
don't
him
know.
out.
He probably
let
has
me
our
put you
volume
out
set to
then.
0 then.
Yes.
No way.
Or he has it going through the wrong audio line. Which is probably the more likely thing, is instead
Come
of
on
going
now. I
through his
wasn't born
headset.
yesterday.
Volume mixer?
Are you sure?
Have you checked your volume mixer?
Yeah, let me leave and come back in.
Alright. Well, he can't come back in. I have to drag him in.
Hello?
Hello! Can
Nope,
you hear
still
us
not
now?
working. All right. Well, no, enough making
Alright.
this cringe, right? Let me just talk about what I was saying. It's not like a huge delay.
Alright, no worries. What do you
Okay,
got to say
so
for us?
I was kind of hearing what you guys were talking about, specifically to Kronos's point of fixing teamwork. And in my opinion, just from watching from afar, taking a break from Foxhole this war, how broken Naval Logi is now with the Iron Ship fix. So, even we've been playing a lot of Rust recently, and I'm thinking about like an item that's similar to, um, fuck, it's like it's basically where you put in items and you can project it to the entire map and say, I'm selling a AK for 3,000 scrap or
Okay,
whatever it might be,
yes.
right?
The
So something like that, call it a military depot for Foxhole, and it produces a unique icon viewable only in region. But when you are at the home region, you can see all of these different military depots across the map, only for your faction. Um, the benefit is like you would be contributing to trade. So as a regiment or squad that creates this item, or this depot, I should say, you can trade for items or supplies, and in exchange, you either get whatever surplus they have that they've been making, or even commends that would need to be submitted from that squad or regiment. So you're basically like depoting in commends and creating a job post of, hey guys, you do this for us, you get these rewards. And this fixes the current broken naval logi of, dude, it's not worth my time to fucking sit for 30 minutes trying to on a good day to try to get to the front and only get commends for the first shipping container I depot. And instead, I'm actually like contributing to either a regiment's op with giving them supplies and getting either supplies back or commends in return. Also, it just promotes teamwork. But that's my point that I wanted to bring up.
alright. So like the vending machines, right? You give something, you get something.
Yeah, the vending
I
machine.
don't know if that's too much in the devs vision. I think they're more of you just produce for the faction. But I
Altruism.
don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Cronus?
I I had something in mind called a requisitions office, and the way it would work is somebody needed something, you would go up to it, and then they could put a request in. I need 100,000 salvage. Somebody just put something dumb, and they notice that somebody in, because the office knows all things, he notices that somebody selling or trading or whatever you want to call it, um 50,000 salvage, but they're looking for 100,000 coke. Like
Okay.
a requisition office to enable people to try and get what they need without having to scream into the void that is the world chat. Or like, you don't even need to necessarily put a cost. You just see that somebody over here has, well, you should, if you use the office, you have to put a cost. If not, you could just put it in a public storage depot. But you could be like, I'm giving away a Spatha. All it costs is, what is the comp cost? It's like 80, 90, like
Yo, I don't
800
even
comps or
know.
something. It's something really cheap to make like the pecans for it. Like some people don't even ask for the cost of the tank because it's 89, it's 59 RMATs. So if you said give me basically the equivalent of like 80 RMATs, you could get a Spatha, which can go into making more, or you could just give them away for free. But that's just called the storage depot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest problems that my regiment has had, because we always do a lot of facility stuff and we do a lot of logi, is um we had a group show up. They took 4 to 5,000 A1s, and they only brought enough salvage to replace about 1,000 of them. And like to so for me, DevMan goes, "Oh, that's good. People are using stuff." But then I talk to the people who took the time to farm the material, make the material, and they feel tired because they're trying to help everyone, but instead it's one group with a train, comes by, a couple of people, a couple of pallets, it all goes to them. It doesn't matter if all of the effort eventually ends up working towards the ultimate goal of winning. People want to feel rewarded for the work they do, and they don't get a choice in how they do their work. By the rules of Foxhole, if I show up to the Bros facility and let's just say you guys are trying to make steel and you guys aren't doing the thing that you're technically supposed to do. You're supposed to have one person sit there, pull out all of the pecans, pull out all of the coke, pull out all of the enriched oil, and pull out all of the water that you need to make the most efficient steel. You're supposed to set that in your private queue, and then you go away until it's done, and then you come back and then you put it in a material transfer pad. What step of the way is that working together? People could bring you everything and then you make it, but there's no way for you to like, okay, I'm going to put the enriched oil in, I'm going to put the pecans in, and then somebody comes by and they put something else in, and then it makes what the group needs and everybody's working together. Much better system. Instead, you guys do what a lot of people do. You put it in public and then you cook it
Yeah.
in public. And by the rules of the game, if I showed up and I took every single bit of steel out of your facility, you could file a ticket, you can call Modman, you could go to my base. But if it's on an MTS and you blow up that MTS, you'll get banned, I'll get nothing. But I still, didn't have to put any of the work in for the steel.
No,
I
true.
don't like that. I don't like that system.
No, yeah, there's no it's tough because there's
There's nothing.
no system for that.
Wait, are you saying
we
this
put
is the
out-
current system?
That's the current system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your trade system, Graham, I don't know, because it's tough. Because what if it's like, oh, I don't have this exact one. I don't have all, because sometimes people don't have the manpower to produce the same as someone else. So like, for example, in the coal field, we were taking M subs for the railway storm cannon. We took M subs for it because we were lacking on M subs. We were having trouble. But what if you don't have M subs? You'd have to just like in Rust,
Right, Chifook?
you'd have to make various options for what you'd be transferring.
Well, yeah, you
the
could,
thing,
and actually,
right?
you can do that in Rust too. You can do like two of the same item. Like,
Yeah.
let's say I want to buy AK, and I'll buy that AK for 5,000 sulfur, or like M249, something like that. But like to your point about like the accessibility, first of all, the main thing is like everyone's got their own Discord channels. Everyone's got their own systems within those Discord channels.
Yeah,
The
it
hope
all
is to
ends
break
up
down
in
that
Discord.
barrier and not require everyone to be in everyone else's Discord channel. And have a system within the game that supports cooperation, and you get a benefit out of it. The second thing is like the amount of people, regiments, who just give away tanks. And I mean, yeah, you have to go through each and every single seaport to see how many tanks are free. You could also just make one of these depots, and you actually get a benefit of, you could take my Spathas. All you have to do is submit 3 commends, and that goes to whoever submitted that vehicle. Now all the field marshals are smiling, Cronus, and being like, "Damn, dude, you trying to make the grind that easy? Hey, man, it's a rough grind,
it's
man."
That's not it. That's not it at all. It's just that people are looking for a way to share, but the problem is that right now, one person can be greedy enough to just take everything. So I have on multiple occasions seen people try to do. It happened to Holler this war. It happened to me this war. Like personally, I literally went up to this guy and said, "Please don't take all the steel out of that upgrade pad. That's for people to use." He goes, "Okay, sure." And I take it, I put it back down, I put it in the pad, and I leave. And I go about my day. I come back 10 minutes later to check. Him and his buddy had emptied the pad. I have played on multiple wars. I know multiple people who have tried to work with the public to do things for the public, but they just come by, they take the pecans out, they take the steel, they take the A1s, they take whatever they need to make their personal battle tank instead of working to make their own. And then the person who spent all that time and energy trying to better Foxhole for everyone quits because the person who wants to better the game for himself is the person who gets the most reward. Resources in Foxhole, they may be abundant, but they are scarce to a lot of players who don't have a lot of time to play the game. And that's why things like the upgrade factory, where you tier vehicles, tier 2, tier 3, I believe is actually very bad for the game in the long run, because it hurts what is supposed to be reinforced in Foxhole. Instead of reinforcing resources should be for everyone, it should be Dolgar. It should be reinforcing people giving away their excess. Like, I don't know what to do with all of this stuff. I should give it away. Or I have more tanks than I know what to do with. I should give them away. Or what you can do, instead of making more tanks for more people, you take what you've made and you go and up tier your vehicle. You bring it out, it gets tracked, it dies in 3 seconds. You go back, you make another one. And instead of incentivizing people to share resources, you have rewarded them for hoarding resources. War's over. Next one's tomorrow. Yes, dude Sam, thank you for the follow. Hey,
No,
Dolgar, by the way.
you know, that's true. I remember there was a guy on the Carly side. I don't know if he was in WLL. He worked with you guys here and there.
West of Blemish.
Yes. Yes, he made that upgrade
That was the
facility.
war he quit.
Yeah, and he quit. But you know what? Because I've tried doing an upgrade facility as well. When I went to Warden with Creepy Banana, I was like, hey, you know what? I'll just do an upgrade facility. It was the worst time to do
dozer.
it because when I did it, all the comps were on one side of the map, and I was on the side of the map
Yep.
that didn't have any comps. I did it during that war. What happened was some guy kept taking my comps, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a train station." And I was like, which no one used that train station. So yeah, I had a bit of that problem where people were using the comps. It wasn't that bad. In general, what happened was people were bringing their own comps when they were doing like a big upgrade, like when they were bringing like 5 tanks. I didn't get it that bad, but yeah, the way Dozer got hit bad, yeah, it's bad, right? It's pecons. You see the
He stopped
pecons, you
playing the
grab
game.
it. What I think it would be nice if the devs just did more options for the facility, for certain facility buildings. For example, the pad, why are people allowed if it's private? Or just give us options where give us like, I don't know, just a checklist of options, and you can tick the options. Very simple. Tick yes, tick no. And then you tick it where people can retrieve resources, and another tick for where it says people can upgrade their tanks, you know? Because I thought if you privatized, when I first started doing the facility things, I thought that when you reserved the small upgrade pad, I thought it meant that people couldn't take your materials out of it. That's what I thought reserving it meant.
No, because I
I
put
soon learned
32,000
it was
pecons
not.
in each
Yeah.
one.
So
Yeah,
why
I put
don't they make it
32,000
that
pecons in each one.
you can upgrade it, or just give us various options where maybe if you want people to pull the materials, hell, just have an option where people can pull anything. It's 100% public, or have another one where it's semi-public, where the materials are private. You can't pull them. There's no way to physically remove the materials out of there, but you can use those materials to upgrade your tank only. That would I think that would solve a lot of issues.
No, because if you made it impossible to pull the material out, I would go to any publicly available material and just start shoving it in a pad in the middle of nowhere and just piss people off. I got 32,000 pecons in this pad, and what does it make? It just makes
Okay, so then we change we set a limit where you can only put
a limit
500 pecons in there.
I think it should be a multiple of 5. I agree, but multiple of 5 120 times 5.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, something like that. You can't,
because you want to base your.
You have to like refill it. So you're the guy that just refills the pecons or the A1s, the A2s into that upgrade pad, and then someone else just comes along and upgrades.
There's a few problematic items though. There is the Colonial rocket truck because it uses like 120 pecons.
Oh, snap.
So yeah, so that hurts a lot. And then there is for both factions the Starbreaker and the Raptura, which uses 130 pecons.
Now I remember. I'm remembering something. I remember when I did that upgrade facility in the Warden side, a new player would come. They would click on the small train by mistake. Boom! There's a small train being made by mistake by a new player, and I'm like, why is there a small train on my pad? and no one's coming to grab
Right,
it. It was because it was a mistake.
So
that
we
it
had a
clicked.
problem. Yeah, we had a problem player who went around and just started making small trains on all the pads.
Oh snap!
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. So this is gonna sound really freaking weird, but I've talked about getting rid of the crates for tanks and vehicles, but for variants, it would make perfect sense. So imagine instead of your tanks being in crates, they're all out, but instead your variants are in crates in parts. And what happens is you bring those crate of parts to the assembly pad, you insert them, and it's like Cronus Winter has inserted a crate that has 5 Spatha variants to it. So every crate is 5. This way you can't really out train the amount of tanks, but the variants you can. And so now when you go up to the pad, you'll see that there's 25 charges to make Spathas. So you don't
Okay.
use the assembly material at the front. You instead bring pre-manufacture the upgrades and then bring them forward. And that's actually, to me, a more interesting system because you could make it so that if you had comps on one side of the map and let's say you had coal on the other side of the map, you could then be like, oh, you need A1s, the pecans, and the A4s, which means comps here, right? So it goes to the coal facility. You make the variants, and then the tanks can go to a different location, and then the upgrade parts go to that location. Like instead of asking the players to do everything all at once or in one spot, you're basically making it so that it has to be a network of making the variants and then shipping the tanks. Like a
Alright.
Spatha conversion kit. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting concept.
Because
Don't lose.
the biggest thing that
I'm
gets a
gonna
lot of
peace out real
oh,
quick before Cronus continues, just so
No
you guys
worries,
have
sorry.
more people to talk to.
Yeah,
But
so
it was
we've
great
been
talking
on
all.
a tangent here.
No,
Thank you
it's good.
for
yeah,
It's good.
just put
joining.
yourself back in queue, man.
Appreciate
Oh, of
it.
course, I
Oh,
will.
ad time.
What is that? An applause? That's the first
Yeah,
time I
give myself
see
a
it.
little
Yeah, you can.
applause.
Yeah, you can. That's the what is that? The soundboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. See you guys.
soundboard.
But yeah, that's interesting because I think the devs really want that. They want a system where we trade, where like, hey, we take all the coal there, and then someone brings all the petrol here, and then someone brings all the sea mats here. But I think it's not happening. It's more of what you're saying, where everyone just brings it all to one central hub. Maybe with with the Sparta upgrades, that would be or like not the Sparta upgrades, but the Sparta. Let's call it the hull of the Sparta. Bring
The
the hull
chassis.
over here, or the chassis. Yeah. Interesting. All right, we have another person that's been waiting for a while. Name is
Calais.
Calais. We're gonna drag him in. I hope he's
Calais,
ready.
like the French place.
Greetings, Calais.
He wasn't there. He left. He's gone.
You
Oh,
ready?
damn, he's next to me.
Welcome.
Oh yeah.
Hello, greetings. Welcome to Broken Telephone. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
What do you have to say to us? What do you have to ask?
So this is the first time I've actually, or this is the second time I've watched Cronus on Twitch. So I don't really know what valuable question to ask. But one thing that I've actually wanted to know is how did you guys discover Foxhole and lead or go on to making your regiments?
Ernest, do you want to answer first?
Cronus found Foxhole one day browsing Steam, got in the game, and ran around, and it was dead. So I said, "Screw this," and I refunded the game. And then, like a year later, my friend's like, "Yo, dude, get this game called Foxhole," and I was like, "Nah, it's kind of a boring game. I don't want it. It was dead when I got it. They just added Logi to it. All right, you have my attention." And I just joined Foxhole and started playing, and it was alive because it was an update war, and people were screaming and yelling, and guns were shooting and pewing. And then I was like, I spent like 2 hours doing frontline combat, and then I hopped into the back line in Umbral Wildwoods and ran around. And I used a flatbed, I used cranes, I used shipping containers. Yes, shipping containers to move salvage. and just fell in love with Logi and started playing. The regiment was founded around the fact that I was the first idiot to go to a place and start filling shipping containers with stuff instead of a storage depot. And I told people to come pick up my shit, and they told me no. And I was like, no, come pick up my shit. And then a bunch of people started showing up. They loved the system, and it just grew from there. Past Cronus was silly.
You've been doing Logi since day one. You actually the Logi guy.
How come no invite to the discussion? This is eMan's thing. I've been doing Logi since day one, and I think it's one of the most wonderful things. It's a game that asks you to basically make what everybody needs to play the game, and it's kind of neat.
Interesting. My experience was actually a friend of mine found the game, and it was free to play at that time. It was like, I think it was in beta, very very early on. I played it. I really enjoyed it. Kept an eye on it. It went kept an eye on it, but I didn't really think of going back into it because it wasn't free to play anymore. And then later we were looking for World War II type of games, and we're like, you know what about Foxhole? We've never been back to the game. Let's try it. So I bought it. I jumped on alone. I looked around the map. I had no idea what was happening. I tried to join this one region where it looked like it was full of people. It said there was a queue. I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm not going to wait in queue. I left the game. Then a year went by. We were looking for some more new games again, and then me and that same friend were like, you know what? Let's give Foxhole a chance this time. Let's actually play it. And then I joined during the it was the war after the zombies. You know the zombies? I don't know if you guys were there for the zombies. Yeah, it was the war after that. And then we found out it was resistance phase, and then I've been playing it ever since. What was that? A soundboard?
Yeah, it's a soundboard. You haven't enabled on the channel. That's all.
Yeah, I've been playing it ever since after that. Well, I took a break and then I came back. But yeah, it's very interesting when you start the game. The first time you play Foxhole, it's so fun. You don't know what the hell's going on. You just want to fight on the front. You want to learn. Now that you know everything, it's different. You know, it's not as fun as it used to be. You play it, fun, but it's when you first started, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And you, Kellis, how did you find the game?
Well, I have a friend, Shiloh. We were just talking about, favorite games and whatnot, and he happened to bring up Foxhole, and immediately within the first 30 minutes of showing like a bunch of YouTube videos, I was just hyped. I was so hyped. I was like, I've never seen a game before that has frontline combat, top view, Logi, Navy. It's like it's it's just the whole package deal. It's honestly, like, I used to be a big fan of FPS shooters back in the early days, and I grew out of that. And I've always wanted to revisit like some kind of combat game, sort of sandbox style. Yeah, that's really it. I've only been playing since the 7th, so.
The 7th of this month?
Yes.
Oh, nice. All right, so you got a lot to learn. A lot of different stories and experiences that you're gonna have on Foxhole. It's perfect, dude. It's really unique. It's a very unique game. It's very niche. It's, if you wanna like the FPS part, I guess if you want like a high pace thing, you go to the front and you be infantry. And if you want to chill, then you can just chillax and you can do Logi, or you can build watchtowers. You can just build. You can dig. I like it. It's got a lot of different areas that you can learn in the game. Yeah, Calais, thank you for joining us. Thank you for
No worries.
jumping in
Thank
the
you for
chat.
having
Really
me here.
appreciate it. No problem, man.
Bye-bye.
All right, Cronus, that's interesting. You refunded the game and then you bought it again. That's
because when I went to the home
unique
island,
situation.
it was boring. I was like, there's nobody around, and I looked at the map and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and just top-down games. I just started playing Helldivers 1 not recently
Oh,
when I got
yes.
Foxhole, but I didn't love the top-down shooting aspect of Helldivers 1, so I never played it.
Oh, okay.
So I had that like bad impression of the game, and I just kind of tossed it to the side. And Foxhole at the time didn't have Logi to it, and I'm a very like before I started streaming Foxhole, I was like RimWorld, Transport Fever. I
Satisfactory,
played a lot of
maybe a
Eve
little. Well,
4.
maybe not
No, I
Satisfactory.
didn't like
not at the time.
Satisfactory. I don't like the first person factory game.
Oh wow.
Oh, there you go, Slowpoke. One of my Slowpoke bought the game in 2017, didn't like it, then he liked it 2019, started playing again.
Dude, that's so interesting because now you said you did it, I did it, another person did it. I think
Because Foxhole's what is this, a 10-year-old game? Look at how much they've changed.
it's true. It's true. I like how they're very committed to it. You know, they have the vision. Everyone jokes about the vision, but they truly do have a vision that they trying to get to, which is really nice of them.
Foxhole early access release date, July 27th of 2017.
I don't know if that's. I just remember I played it and it was free. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and then it
No, it's even
stopped, and then
mixed.
I never got into it. I think I was studying at the time, so I was like, oh, I don't have cash for it. And then I was like, you know what, give it a go again. Right, we got someone
What about
else here.
Factorio? Yeah.
Got,
Just a quick side thing. I liked Factorio, but everybody who I played Factorio with is like, because I was working at the restaurant full time, man. I would come home and they'd done like 90% of the work, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna
Oh
go play
snap!
a shooter. I'm gonna go play Rainbow Six Siege.
That's another. I
Oh, there
could
you
go
go,
down
Zebul.
another tangent with this, but all right, let's bring in
Yeah, we can.
Barteng. Let's see what Barteng has to
Yeah,
say.
get the funny guy in here. Get him in here.
Hello, Barteng. Can you hear us?
Oh,
Welcome
yes.
to Broken Telephone. Just
Hello.
increase your volume. What do you got to say for
Guys
us?
from Hauler. Be careful.
Yeah, Holler, man.
Ah, you're from Hauler. Okay, I've heard of.
I
Haven't
forgot I put your
haven't
name
done
in my
anything with
title.
Hauler, but I've heard of you guys.
Yeah. I wanted to circle back to a facility thing. I mean, Cronus partially touched on how you can easily make expensive things at these small pads. For example, you can make heavy trucks very easily, and then like Ripturas very easily, or for Warden's Starbreaker. I think having an option to squad lock the small vehicle pads, and then getting the ability to turn on or off, like for people to pull stuff from pads or turn off certain recipes, would be very great. Because what we had with Hauler is that I would wake up, I look at the logs, and I see that there has been 20 heavy trucks made in the last couple hours because no one was on and we couldn't stop them, and we were down like so many pecans. But in the end, it isn't that big of a deal if it's like one or two. But if there's over the war, there's been so many made that like spent so much time farming all these resources, and people can like it it kind of pulls you down a bit with how
Yeah,
easy
no,
it is.
it's really hard to put time, energy, and effort into doing something that it doesn't matter if it's going to the greater good of Foxhole. Like if I went up to the hauler pads, took all of your pecans, and let's just say I used it to make rocket trucks, right? And then you logged in and you found out like 1,000 pecans were gone, 2,000 pecans, or whatever, however many I took, and you feel bad is you put all that work and time and energy in, and you just see on the log Cronus Winter has taken your pecans, Cronus Winter has taken your pecans, or worst case scenario, you log in, you don't even have the log, and then you contact me and you're like, Cronus, you fuck, why'd you take all my goddamn pecans? And I tell you the reason why Abandoned Ward is green right now is because we blew it up with all those pecans. And then I celebrate, you celebrate, everybody's happy, and then it's great, and then we get you more pecans, and that's how the game should work. But in reality, it's, oh, I made a battle tank with it, thanks, it died in 5 seconds, can I have another?
No, okay, I'm just gonna take it anyways.
No,
Yeah.
that's
But
like
I'm just
what
saying,
Cronus
like,
said,
that's what
right?
happens.
They don't take it when you're online. They're gonna take it when you're offline.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for more established groups like WL or maybe us, people are less likely to do it because they know they can just ask. But for the average smaller group, they have no one is
I
gonna
have
like be there to stand up for them, right? It's just
well,
something
that's
up
the
to a
thing.
smaller
Yeah.
group. That's it.
A lot of smaller players are the ones who get screwed over because they don't. So Foxhole is not a simple game where you can just get into it and go. But there's a lot of people who they don't want to talk to people. They want to watch YouTube videos. They want to try and learn it themselves before they have to get mentored or whatever. And some of them are successful, but here's the problem. They join Foxhole. They try to farm material. They can't get to the field or something, or if they have trouble. Like there's a lot of things that could go wrong to get somebody to stop playing Foxhole, like trouble getting the resources they need, trouble just finding a location to build. Because new player builds a facility somewhere, clan man comes by, this is a vital choke point, or I have future plans here, or so many things could happen. But let's say a player reaches the point, like last night when I wasn't streaming, I was going around and I was QRFing Partisans and Origin. There was a brand new player who built a facility, was making pecans, and basically was just playing the game and trying to have fun.
Yeah.
He kind of left a 120 millimeter cannon with 2 pallets of ammo right next to his facility, and there was a warden trying to very carefully position the 120 to face the factory to start blowing it up. I waited for the warden to jump out. I ran up to him. I shot him. I killed him, and he was very upset, and it was fine. And then the new player showed up, thanked me in broken English for saving his facility that had no defenses, no anything, and I went on my merry way. But had I not been there, he would have maybe lost his facility because he was there. He could have QRF, but he might have lost his facility. He might have lost hours of gameplay. Or if he wasn't online, nothing of his was squad locked, I could have just taken everything he had. And as a dick move as it is, as some people would say, if you've got only so many hours in the week to play the game and you happen to come across exactly what you need to do exactly what you want to enjoy your evening, well, what do you care? You're never going to see the guy again.
No, it's exactly. It's online, you know.
Yep. Hold on. I had multiple times that people use alts to steal shit from my facilities. I always tell people that if they want to use my blast furnace or engineering center, they got to ask and not use it like they own it. Ask for it. Incorrect though. So here's the thing: you can't do that anymore, Mr. Perfecto. Blast furnaces, engineering, anything you build is now technically a publicly accessible facility. I went into the ACA facility and I made A4s and I made pecans personally in my own queue, so they couldn't like if they check the log, they could see that I didn't take anything. But the problem is if you see somebody rolling out of your facility with 400 pecans,
Okay, where are you going? Hey.
Where are you going? Is that yours? This actually happened. A group was buying an Ares off of ACA, which by the way, ACA bought that Ares off of us. So it was a really funny chain game of who's buying an
They
Ares.
sold what they bought. Wow.
They sold it. I bought it for. I sold them an Ares to get rare metals, rare alloys, and whatever. So, but here's the problem: another group who didn't speak English showed up to our facility and started putting tons of sulfur and components into our engineering center, and I didn't know what was going on. So when I showed up and I watched them emptying the facility, I started freaking out. I was like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" Like, oh, broken English. It was a really fun conversation. And luckily the logs were there and I could see that they had inserted everything. But like when you see a train driving away from your facility full of stuff that you might be yours, there's some panic.
No, 100%.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
the stuff. But rounding back to what Bartung said, yeah, if people just take your stuff, you put all that effort to make something public, and then you get on and people just start using it randomly
Hold
for
on.
something else.
Let me
brings you
fix
down a
what you
little
just
bit.
said, if you don't mind, because
Yeah.
you said you make things public.
Yes.
By that definition, if I come to your facility and it's all public and I do it to make myself a funny Aries, you're screwed. The thing is that people want a choice in what their material goes to. If I went up to the hauler facility and took all of their stuff for the sake of upgrading my tank to tier 3, I don't think hauler would be very happy. But if
We don't
I
make
took
them
all
anymore.
of their stuff, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, if I took all of your stuff and I upgraded 100 Spathas, I don't think you'd care as much.
I'm like, hell yeah, get in there. You know, that's the purpose right there.
True.
Oh yeah, vetting is way too expensive. It makes no sense. I can make 100 tanks or have one slightly better tank.
So if you want to cut down how vetting works for some people, right? Like if you're in a Spatha, you could argue that it's 3 people, but it's technically 2. 2 people are splitting the cost of that Spatha. Again, the problem I have with the mechanic of vetting is that the cost of mechanic does not incentivize people to work together.
Because it's extremely expensive, and it's
Because
mainly
Cronus has read the
just
science of logic, so we understand.
it's mainly just for fun. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter too
I
much for
agree.
gameplay.
More of
Like I want
a
funny
Understand.
camo.
museum. Yeah, funny camo. We could go down another loop, another tangent with the camo, but we'll leave it for another day. It's getting a bit late. Barteng, thank you for joining in. Thank you for jumping in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like 10 for
Hopefully,
you, right?
be answered. It's getting there. It's 8:45. It's just I don't want to go over the 2-hour mark. It's nearing that.
No, it's fine.
A bit short. But yeah, I feel like there's still so much more we could speak about.
Could always do broken
that's-
telephone again.
True. So I do plan to do it more often. Probably, obviously during the resistance phase, so we got some time to speak about it. But yeah, the camo, you know, the funny camo. That's another topic that I could go down. Where it's like, why don't they could add skins to the game? You know, maybe potential Twitch drops, get people watching, get people looking. It'd be really interesting. But yeah, that's for another time. Yeah, no, Cronus, any final words that you want to say? While we got the people
Foxhole
here,
needs a hug.
Foxhole needs a hug. It does. No, it's
Foxhole's a great
listen,
game.
It's interesting. We can not shit on it, but we can criticize it a lot. There's a lot of flaws in it, but I don't know about you, but I'm still playing it. I still go back to it. I still enjoy it. I think a lot of people criticize it, but they still come back to it. It's because of those social
because
elements,
we love it.
you know. Yeah, exactly. We
love
enjoy these moments where we have to like scream and shout at a new player. It's interesting, you know. In my opinion, it's interesting in terms of like the social aspect where you have to speak to people. And a creepy once said that Foxhole. Hey, thank you for the follow. Creepy once said that Foxhole made him an extrovert. And
well, it's a game that forces
I
you to
would
be
believe
social.
that
Absolutely.
too. Yeah, it's I think it's unique. It's unique in that point, you know. Hey, another 2 followers. Thank you, boys. But yeah, it's unique. I really enjoy it. We criticize it, but it's not because we hate it. It's because we enjoy it. Yeah, I just hope for the game to grow and be more and more successful. Which is another topic. Which is, if the game grows, do they do more servers? Do they make the map bigger? How would they do it if you look at Rust gets 80,000 concurrent players. Foxhole gets on average what, 2.5? How would a game go from 2.5 to 10k concurrent 10k concurrent players? Like, how would they handle that?
I gotta be honest with you. There's only one way for me. There's only one way I believe Foxhole will grow that big, and it's gonna be really weird to say it like this, but you get shard locked for one.
Oh snap!
So if they make a Baker or Charlie, you can't hop between servers if you're already in one war. That way, you're committed to a war that is going until it ends. As much as that sounds awful, it is the nature of Foxhole, because the moment So in Foxhole right now, if somebody loses their facility, what do? They either quit, or what happens is they move into the further back lines and they build their facility on top of other people's facility. Trust me, it happens all the time. I hate it. But there's also the problem that during the time when we did have multiple servers, people would start losing, they'd get upset, they'd go to another server, they'd get a fresh start. So this is the way I imagine it has to happen. You would join a server, Abel, Baker, or Charlie, or as many as there needs to be. You are now locked to that server after X amount of gameplay. Not 6 minutes. You could go longer with this type of thing. But after you've basically committed yourself to playing in one of the servers for like a day or something, you are stuck in that server until the end of the war.
Oh, seems fair. Seems fair.
Yeah. And I also think Foxhole would benefit from having different campaigns. So right now we have this current one campaign, right?
Yes. Fair.
Now imagine if during that campaign, the only way, like, as I said, you get locked to a server. What if the only other way you could go to the other server is by border traveling? So imagine having to go out of like Port of Rhyme to like another continent, right? But then you're in a freighter or you're in these new massive ships, naval ships, and there's like these areas that you have to traverse where there could be submarines. There could be these really cool ship battles versus the current ship battles that we get, which are get screwed.
No, I see what
You
mean.
know,
Yes,
there's
I
a lot
saw-
of
I s-
fun ideas.
I watched your stream with what happened. It's basically Navy.
Which
right?
one?
The one where you guys went with the destroyer and took forever to get there, and then as soon as you get there, you get hit by the
Yeah,
subs, and
that's
now
fun.
you have to go back. Which is funny
Yeah,
because
yeah, no, that-
literally a week before that stream, I had a guy in my regiment. He joined a pause destroyer, and the exact same thing happened. As soon as they crossed the border, they get hit by 2 submarines, and now there's half an hour of them just traveling back. He said it was the biggest waste of his time ever. Firstly, it was half an hour getting there, half an hour waiting in the queue to get across, and then just an hour going back.
Yep. During that stream, so I got a little upset at the ship that got sunk because it was idle in Nevish. That was just me being salty. That ship kind of had a fair death, but I don't like what happened to a majority of ships. Is you get a single torpedo and yeah, you have to go back. Because during the time when we got hit, there was 3 other ships that had the exact same thing happen to them. They got hit, they had to go back, they couldn't play the game. You're not playing the game anymore. You're just not engaging with the content of the game. There's no panic to fill the hole. There's no evasive maneuvers. We gotta try and hunt this sub. It's we have a hole we can't fix. Just go home. Or you have to sit there and have a couple of people play like NPCs, bucketing water constantly, and nobody wants to do that. It's not fun. It's not gameplay.
So you guys had a hole. The water was rushing in, but you guys weren't sinking. I don't understand.
We had so they hit us in the mid. They hit us in our engine compartment, and we sealed the bulkheads to the front compartment because they hit 2 torpedoes. They hit our rear and they hit our mid, and we couldn't. You can't bucket the water fast enough because we couldn't seal the hole because we couldn't get the metal beams because they were in the back room. It was this whole system of just you can't bucket the water faster than it's coming in. So there's no point in bucketing the water. So you just leave with, one room sealed and you pray you don't have to you travel the border and then, do you know what the submarine strategy is?
No. Yeah.
You sit on the border because it's a 60-second travel time. You wait for them to either travel across or you wait for them to stop, and then you torpedo them when they're sitting idle at the border because they're not moving. So it's not gameplay, it's border camping, corner camping.
No, it is. Yeah, it's border camp. Yeah. we already have that issue
Um,
with Logi on the borders, but now you getting but Logi, it's one truck. Now it's a ship that's
Now it's a ship that is rare metals. It takes a lot of time for people to make, and you can border camp. And I think they need to undo the nerf they did to sonar, because sonar was originally nerfed because torpedoes weren't really that scary. But
okay.
now submarines rule the waves at the end of the day, because if you let's imagine you were planning an op for like a week, big 82 DK naval invasion style op. You get torpedoed once in the long hook. That's it. You get to go home. Op's over. Should you have a second long hook? I don't know. Is somebody going to have the time, energy, and patience to have a second long hook full of enough invasion supplies? You get it. God forbid if your bluefin gets torpedoed.
No, true. No, I guess it's been a year almost. It's gonna be a year that they've done Navy. So I guess.
Yeah, but the torpedo changes are recent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because to be
Second
honest,
edition.
there wasn't much of sub callouts coming out, and I feel like now, yeah, like you're saying, more subs have shown up. Maybe they're just getting better. I guess it's the change.
Well,
like
now
you
they're
said.
worth using.
Yeah.
But they're now
okay.
they're worth using a lot. Regarding torpedoes, when hitting battleships, they feel good since they don't instantly kill it, unlike the destroyer or other large ships. Yeah, so it's 900 rare metals for a submarine. It's 1,200 for a destroyer, but technically speaking, a destroyer should be able to sink more subs than
Yes,
what it
it's funny
takes.
because
But that's not the problem there. My problem is the gameplay of one torpedo ruins everybody's day. It's do you remember when Fire was first released and Moy Dog did that video of it was like 800 colonials trying to put out a bunker base with buckets?
don't remember.
Okay,
what
so when
happened?
Fire was first released, it was broken. So they had a single fire rocket launcher or whatever you want to call it. I forget what they call it. Nobody uses it. And all the colonials were running about a bunker trying to put out this fire that they couldn't put out with no matter how many times they threw water on it with buckets. It was like a madhouse. And they finally get the fire out. White Dog says fire won. That one rocket lands, tier 5 fire, everybody has to
Oh
do it
wow.
again. That the fire got nerfed that war.
Okay, I think the fire is good where it is right now. That must have been horrible. Keep fire with one rocket. I think right now it's good. Yeah, I guess
It's incredibly difficult to land a torpedo, even if, unless you have a skilled crew, especially moving on a boat that is faster than a submarine, unless you just sit at the border and wait for it to stop.
Yes, I guess. Isn't there a immune system at the border when you cross with a destroyer?
You don't wait for them to cross, you wait for them to stop and teleport over.
No, but once they teleport over, so
once you teleport over,
yeah.
But here's the problem. The way the game works, as far as I can tell with that immunity, is if you cross, you don't get to see what. So the ship crosses and then people spawn. The ship's 1 minute timer starts the moment it's crossed, and then the 1 minute timer for you begins after everybody has crossed, and then you get there. So your ship might have been there for 45 seconds already.
Oh, so they've
right?
seen it by this time.
They've seen it. They're waiting for it. But again, the problem I have with torpedoes is that there is no way that it is a fun gameplay mechanic that even if we had killed the sub, right? We killed the sub and you got torpedoed once. And let's say you were supposed to be part of a cool operation. Nope, you're going back to base because nobody's going to sit there and bucket like that. If your ammo room gets hit, then just close it up, and then it's like you can't do anything. You're on a ship that is literally doing nothing.
Wait, because you can't repair the hull.
You
right?
can repair the hull.
Okay.
You can repair the hull, and then it's a small leak. The problem with the small leak is you're basically asking a couple of people on your ship to do nothing but bucket water. You're basically telling them you are an NPC now. You must bucket water while everybody does this cool stuff on the ship. You must bucket water. Oh, and God forbid if you take a second hull hit and then you can't actually bucket the water faster than it's coming in. So would you rather risk this item that is really expensive and annoying to make, or would you rather take it back, get it repaired, and hope for the best next time?
I see. Yeah, kind of. And the thing
Yep, you
is,
got a comma back.
it takes a while to go back and forward, right? So you've been
Oh,
traveling
especially
for
if you're
so far. The only other.
especially if the room that's flooded is your engine room.
Oh, you go even longer.
You go slower.
All right. We were gonna end, but Mr. Cuttlefish quickly joined. I guess we can quickly listen to him. Thomas is back.
Oh, and right, Fractured Society actually brings that up. If you torpedo a long hook, even if you don't sink it, it can't anchor anymore. It can't anchor, so you can't do your invasion.
Oh, you can't anchor when you've flooded?
You can't anchor with water
Because
in
you
your ship.
can't flood. You can't sink when you've anchored.
You can't
right?
you can't get flooded if you're anchored.
You can get flooded. Anchored. Okay, so the ship. How do you destroy an anchored ship? You just do damage to it.
You have to just torpedo it. You just have to HP
Just
kill
HP
it.
kill it.
Anchored ships have to be H killed. Yeah. If not, then theoretically you could show up with a single ATR, put a single hole in a ship, and
Yeah.
God forbid if you have people like checking for holes. Yeah, it
Alright,
can't
yeah,
anchor
that
with a
makes
leak.
sense.
Oh.
Alright, we're gonna bring in quickly Mr. Cuttlefish, just to end off.
Just drag them both in here. Just drag them both in here because I know you're on your 2-hour mark, and I actually got to go make dinner
Let's
soon. So
drag them
yeah,
both
they
in.
could put in a firing calculator into the fire master to fill up before super pre-calculating.
Cuttlefish, what's up?
Hello.
Hello, I saw you booked your
Hello.
spot
Yes, I
earlier
did.
yesterday. Yes, alright.
You
What
hear
do
me
got
okay?
for us? Yes, we can hear you. I'm gonna put you a little
Okay,
bit
good.
louder. Perfect.
Yeah, so that was basically War 115 was basically me coming out of my retirement. I put in over 80 hours this war, I believe. I think it was more. No, it's 4 days. 4 days of continuous play. In any case, so this war was definitely one of the longest wars I ever participated in, from end to end,
it's not.
and also maybe one of the most frustrating ones I ever encountered. I was actually not going to play this war, but when we had some neighborly disputes at the start, I was very motivated to make sure that we were not going to fail, and that we were gonna be good boys and actually do some stuff and get things done. Despite everything that happened. Between
Anyways,
a
what's the
2-week
question?
stalemate. Yeah,
the
the
question,
question. So the question that I wanted to propose is that do we actually think that the economy is broken? Do we actually really need to look at it? Like completely redo it?
This
Or
is too long of a question
Okay.
to be answered, but the answer is
all
yes.
right, maybe
I will give you the rundown of it. That yes, the economy itself, it's not broken, but I don't believe it fits what Foxhole's trying to do.
yeah.
Just okay. I guess I'm not. So I don't do that much logic. I don't really know or can put in a word for the economy. Do you think like what? There's too many tanks. Is that the main problem? Too many.
Well,
Tanks is
vehicles?
one of the problems. Yes.
I think it's interesting because like I had this really positive reaction to, or I think it was 113 when we had the 5 times economy first included. I really had a lot of fun playing with facilities and logi, but it was so much. Like
It was 112.
stuff was just so expendable. It was 112? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
But I remember really enjoying that surplus economy. But I don't think
So the
everyone
surplus
else did.
economy. Okay, I'll give you a rundown really quick on why 112 was a lot of fun for a lot of people. It's because if you have the ability to do more, you can have more activities. Hey guys, we need another train of tanks over here to the war factory. War factory, you got to print more tanks. More tanks got to go to the front. You constantly have a system of things moving. The moment you take that away, there's less to do and less fun to have. You can actually make the Foxhole economy less, but give people more to do, and they will have more fun. Look at people who play Factorio, right? You do one belt to another belt to another belt to another factory to a belt, factory, belt, factory, belt, factory. But in Foxhole, it's a very straightforward system. It's field, refinery, factory, and then you go to the front. You can make the system more engaging, but again, this is a huge
Yeah.
question that needs to be answered another day because eTheman's hitting his 2-hour mark, and we got
Yeah.
Kamas who wants to ask a question.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
No,
Good to talk to
thanks,
y'all.
Mr. Callfish.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, so this quick question here. It's sort of more proposal for torpedoes. I think torpedoes should still cost metal beams. However, when you put those metal beams in, it creates that small hole. I then think you should be able to take a hammer and repair the small hole. Now, it's still gonna put you out of commission for probably about 20 minutes or so, trying to get all the water out, get the metal beams and stuff and repair. And you might even have to go to a friendly port nearby. But at the same time, it doesn't end your mission. You're gonna spend maybe 20, 30 minutes repairing, and then you'll be able to go back out. I think that'd be probably the best solution. It makes you stop for 20, 30 minutes, but that gives you option to get back into the actual battle.
Right. Okay. So, all right. I don't hate that, but here's something that annoys me, and I'm gonna just this is a tangent, and then eTheman can reply. I hate the fact that you can't use Origin and Sableport in a North-South war to store ships. You gotta use Ashfields. Ugh. Anyways. Yeah, I like the idea of being able to fix the ship at sea. Even if it costs steel.
Yeah, they could do like
There you
a thing where you have to be stationary for X amount of time, and if the enemy sub finds you again, boom, you're screwed. But it's
No,
like
because
a risk
that-
reward thing.
I don't think that's fair either, because if you have to sit still, they will find you again.
You sort of make it like
because your depth charges are very limited.
I don't know if you guys ever play like World of Warships and stuff like that, where it's like you get hit by things and you got fires on board and it takes a certain amount of time to put things out. Something like you're still gonna need to put like the beams in to repair it, but then maybe after a certain amount of time kind of thing, then the leak stops or whatever. I don't know how they incorporate it, or like I said, maybe even just once it's a small leak, then you just gotta hammer the small leak, but it's still gonna take time to get all that water out and put sometimes with those metal beams, especially take like multiple holes, it takes a while to get all those. Sometimes you're like trying to carry those beams in, drowning people and stuff like that to get them to get the whole hole fixed, kind of thing. So, I think they just need.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I agree. No. Like, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just trying to say, like, I do agree, but if I was to tack on anything to that, I think it should be something like, imagine a welder's backpack that costs like enriched oil. Just give people the option that their ship doesn't just automatically sink if they've got 3 torpedo holes. Like, it's just not fun. It's just not fun. Even if you take just the 1 torpedo, which is the worst, because like there's losing a ship to HB death, and it's like, okay, it died in like 3 seconds. That sucks. It's not fun. But having to stop what you're doing, go all the way back to base to repair, and then a lot of the frontline hexes, the places where you would imagine there would be shipyards, you simply just can't put them, because then you get like a call at like 6 a.m. Hey, Morton's just threw a single frigate into the bay with all these anchored ships that can't do anything because everybody who has them is offline, and then Steam servers aren't working, and so you're on a ship but it sinks. Like, it sucks.
Oh, true. Cronus, do you think so? Do you think that if you were able to fix all the holes on the ship and it all stopped leaking, would that fix the problem?
Well, this is the problem though, is that how do you make torpedoes deadly? But the thing is they're too deadly. What's up, Lunar?
I don't know.
So
personally, I don't have
this
experience
is
with
I like how we got
Navy.
the heavy hitter questions right at the end, right?
I think the
True.
one thing I feel like with torpedoes is like the one big thing is you hit the room where the spawn is, kind of thing. You really could take that ship
You
out
can't
of
spawn
commission
there.
because you can't
Yeah.
spawn there. So it becomes that more of targeting that stuff. Yeah, you could hit the other compartments. You can slow the ship down, maybe cause them to repair. But then still putting torpedoes and even if you're trying to pull metal beams out, if you hit that compartment where they spawn,
That happened
first
to
of all,
us.
you're gonna kill everybody that's spawning in there, that's spawned in there, sitting back there. And then second of all, they aren't gonna be able to spawn, and then you're trying to find other ways to get people out to the ship, kind of thing. So I feel like there's still torpedoes could have a thing factor in the game with still doing large holes. I think they should be able to be repaired at sea, kind of thing, because you could still take a ship out and kill a ship if you hit just right parts of the hull, kind of thing.
Our ship only took 20% health damage, and we were trying to do something, and it's like 20% health. Yeah, I could still go out. I could still do things. Does your tank take 20% armor damage, and people go all the way back to
to a garage?
a garage? No. Most people will stay and keep fighting and hope for the best, but your ship takes one torpedo, you're back to base.
True.
Yeah. I
Lots
think
of
at
Anyways,
the
I like
end
this
of the
things.
day,
I'm gonna go real quick, but I just want to thank you guys for doing this. It's been a lot of fun, and like maybe every couple weeks, maybe midway of next war, do another one of these with this to see how these new changes play out and that stuff, and maybe see what the new metas are. Would be interesting. So
yeah. But so for people who don't know, this is eTheMan's podcast. It's called The Broken Telephone. It's his.
Do it every
Right. And so now
resistance
I'll
phase.
start one, and then we'll just have one every other day. It'll be his, mine,
You should
his,
definitely
mine,
start.
play.
I think we need more community events like this.
Ships
game
have
to
a dewatering
grow.
system, like a build chat, either run by a milling game or a generator that runs on petrol or diesel. Eventually, or obviously runs out. Yeah, you could add more systems to the game. A bilge. Yep. Why are Warden's torpedoes high velocity? Oh, absolutely. I love this. It was cool. Also, a few skiffs. I'll come to be.
Right, sweet. Cronus, I think it was interesting. Personally, obviously,
Nice.
there was a lot of questions which I personally don't have
We need more of this,
a
Cronus.
lot of experience into, but that's why you're here. So hope this was good for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope the viewers enjoyed
did.
it. Hope people
We gotta do it again.
yeah, we'll definitely do it again. I'll so personally I have a list of people that I want to invite over. But we could always run it back. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I want to do this every resistance phase. If people want to hop in, just keep an eye out. Every resistance phase, I'll probably do this. We'll get a different guest. We've had Creepy, we've had Grambler, now we have Cronus. I don't think I'll get a bigger guest than you.
Get Evo.
It was interesting. Oh yeah, there's Evo. True. I just learned that he's also Portuguese, but he's from America. I'm also
So that's
Portuguese.
a perfect combo.
It is indeed.
Time to grab him.
Just the time zone. I guess I could do it now. He's on around this time.
He's
But
literally
yeah.
playing Rust right now.
Oh snap! But yeah, guys, it was awesome. Thank you so much for everyone that called in. That's the whole point, is for people to call in and have a voice, even if it's
we still read
not
your
popular
chat.
or not. We yeah, true, Cronus is right. We still read. While no one joins in, we'll just read. But it's really nice getting people to call in and hearing them. More of a one-on-one experience. Cronus, any last words?
Foxhole needs a hug.
Foxhole needs a hug.
Keep
Yes,
going back to that.
that's where we were. Even though we criticize and say a lot of bad stuff to Foxhole, we still love it and we still come back to it.
Okay, so let me interject there. If somebody's trying to make like a really good recipe or something, like let's say somebody's trying to make a croquembouche for the first time, or a very fancy French dish, and they're doing something wrong, the worst thing you could tell somebody who's trying their best is to sugarcoat it. You know, it's like, your sugar strands, they ain't thin enough, the caramel ain't good enough, that croquembouche, I don't like it, time to try again, and then you make it again and life is good. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, but that was good though.
It's true. It's nice to have these discussions. It just gives a hope. Maybe devs can also listen, and one day we can have a dev here and we can talk to him. Until then, we'll continue doing these things. I don't like Reddit because it's always like it's one person's opinion, and then it's just one person says something, then another just adds on and adds on and adds on and adds on. They just keep adding on. At least here we can moderate it and keep it civil, you know, because no one's gonna come on here and start screaming, I hope. But yeah,
No,
overall, even though
you're absolutely gonna get a screamer.
I hope
One day
not,
you are
but
absolutely going to get a screamer.
I hope
You're going to Absolutely do it. It happens. It's, no matter what you do, you let random people on here.
No,
you're
no,
getting
but
a screamer.
that's the thing. It's two of us, right? It's two of us and one random, and we don't. Maybe if they don't like one of us, then okay. But normally we can control it, as long as it's not.
Oh, but
We bring in a Colleen, we bring in a Warden. I don't want to do that. We'll bring in one at a time to control the chaos.
we gotta
But
just
yeah.
start dragging some warden leaders over here.
Yeah,
Just
no,
keep-
I remember the one time they got Larry to talk to some guy, and they were. I remember they were like, Moydog was in the call, and they were just screaming at each other. Even though that's not what I want, it was still interesting to see that happen, and I just wish
You
could have
be the content you
more-
want to be, because if
That's
you
also
if you
true.
want viewers in
No.
here, all we have to do is start screaming at each other. We can create some false
no, true,
drama
that's-
between
I'm
bros
not
and
s-
WLL. Come on, we do it. We'll start making shit up. You stole my
start
goddamn
making some
Aries!
No, yeah.
Ah!
We'll make some civil war. I'll message you in the back.
I got it. Back end Civil War. Got it. Well, tomorrow's the day, man.
Oh yeah,
I'll pick
it's
the
very
St.
short.
Coldfield. We
Very
can show
short
up.
resistance phase. Wow. Who knows
gotta
what's gonna
try.
happen tomorrow? It's gonna be very fun. I'm looking forward to it. I wish we had another day. Normally I like to just chill, test out some other games and stuff like that. But hey, oh well.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the war. We start
Yeah,
again. No rest.
I was gonna work on my this shit back here today,
Oh,
but then you
snap.
were like wanting to do stuff, and then I had people talking to me, and then I had to get the pre-war meeting, and then I had to. Oh, there's so much to do before war starts, and then figuring out what people are doing.
Oh, you know what the
God.
worst is?
Oh, you gotta.
It's a 30 minutes before the war starts, and you have to figure everything out in the blink of an eye. And then when the war starts, then it's all the map posts. Boom, 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 boom. It's the
Oh,
worst.
then the people who build encampments that they kill 2 seconds
Oh,
after they
yes.
get their claim, and it's like, I've got a bunker though, but that doesn't matter anymore because now they'll just flag your bunker.
But yeah, it's overall, it's a fun game. We all enjoy it with all the exploits and glitches. Overall, it's nice to see what Foxhole can accomplish. Cronus, chat, thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.
Bye.